Thank you very much. I've got 10 minutes on quite a meaty topic, so bear with me if I rattle through this. But yes, I have a background in marketing. Yes, I have experience in HR. So I'm going to start with the premise behind what I'm going to talk about for the next 10 minutes. I believe that the brand is defined by the employee experience and the customer experience. So, if you will, the brand inside absolutely impacts the brand outside. And it's that philosophy upon which I'm going to base the next 10 minutes. The employee experience interpret by the way that you want your employees to recommend your company as a great place to work to others. When it comes to talent acquisition and employee retention, those are the key objectives, just as you would want a satisfied customer to refer you to other customers. So ultimately, it works to the concept that people are your brand. They live it every day. They are ultimately your internal customers. And I had a look at some brands that I admire, that I believe have transcended, as I've put there, their category of product or service to become icons themselves. And they have, such as Google and Coca-Cola, something in common. They have a clear purpose. And all engagement is fit to purpose. Purpose, altruistic or otherwise, and you see the stated purposes of Google and Coca-Cola there. I do like Coca-Cola's refresh the world and inspire moments of happiness and cheerfulness. And we'll ignore issues about sugar and obesity. But anyway, the purpose to refresh the world and inspire moments of happiness. So a purpose is not a mission statement. It's not your vision and values. It's not your corporate objectives. It is the reason your company exists. It's what shapes your culture, and it's what shapes behaviours. And it is the role, I believe, of HR and marketing to take a lead in the organisation to make sure that the purpose becomes more than lip service. It becomes part of the DNA, part of the fabric of what we do as organisations. Lots of research that's gone on that has shown that organisations with a strong sense of purpose perform better. This is where purpose can impact the bottom line. And how does it work? Well, the way that it works in most successful organisations, such as Google and Coca-Cola, is that you define your purpose, and then you look at the kind of culture that you need to create or invest in order to achieve that purpose. And that culture is illustrated by the behaviours of the people within your organisation, how they interact with each other. And ultimately, do they buy in to the purpose? Do they buy into all the messages that you are sending out as a brand? And that will inform your employee value proposition. Your culture and your behaviours can do nothing more than to hugely assist how you retain and recruit talent. Google employs people 100% to keep other people happy, and we can't all afford to do that, so arguably that's quite a nice purpose to have as a personal mission in life when you work for an organisation. But the culture of Google, I believe, teaches us something very, very important, and that is that they base nearly everything off data. And we've heard a lot this morning about at what part data comes into the process. Data drives everything, but it's the information at the beginning to understand where you are, to understand where you need to be, and it informs you in terms of your progress in reaching your goals. So I believe that data has an important part to play, but not in isolation, it is meaningless, as we've already heard as part of the sessions today. And one of the reasons that data alone can't help is that because we've all got inclusivity and diversity as key aspects of our agenda, but we ultimately also realise that one size does not fit all. One communication does not resonate in the same way with me as it does with you. We have to make it real for individuals, and this is where I believe the concept of the internal customer having as much importance and relevance as the external customer is key to success in this area. We have to know our customers. People are our brand, and we have to know how to interact with them and engage with them with the same way as we would our external audience. And this is where the principles of marketing come to play. Segment, target, position. Understand your audience, understand what resonates. You may have a lone voice in your organisation who is just simply not getting it, and that can permeate through to other areas of your organisation. You need to be able to anticipate that, identify that. We need ambassadors for the brand within the company. And this is where the principles will apply. The brand out inside, impacting the brand outside. And I believe that in order to address this, because we've heard a lot about what's happening in the future, some of it's scary, we've heard a lot about what we need to do, but I think we need to think practically. What can we actually do as part of our day-to-day working lives to try and make all of this happen? Marketing and HR are stronger together. And I've called this the HRM purpose, HR and marketing. Although Lynn Smith, who is my HRD in Wealth Wizards, thinks the PM purpose, as in people and marketing, is also a good term. But let's look at what HR and marketing share. We want to influence behaviour by making a connection, emotional responses, as we've talked about earlier. We want to attract profitable internal customers or external customers, and we want to attract top talent to the organisation. We want to attract the right kind of prospects. Inspire brand loyalty, behaviour and reputation is anything. One size does not fit all. And communication is omni-channel. By that, not just the newsletter. What are people saying on social media? What are people saying when they're at the water cooler? What are people saying when they're in the restaurant? What is the word out there? Because it is not just about push communication. It's a two-way street. It's about relationship marketing, and it's relationship marketing internally. So I suggest that marketing and HR together are ultimately the EVP dream team. Think of it in terms of marketing terminology relating to HR principles. The product is the brand. Your customers are your employees. Your prospects and new talent that you want to bring to the organisation. Your consumer market is the world of work. And your competitors are other employers. Think of it in that way. The other challenge when you're thinking like this is, having sat on boards with both hats on, it's often perceived as the fluffy stuff. How does it impact the bottom line? How do we measure it? How do we tailor messages? How do we stop it all getting out of hand? It's a real challenge because we're talking about how people feel, and we're trying to inspire connections, and we're trying to encourage behaviour. So I suggest that just as CMOs use technology and data to manage customer relationships, HRDs can do the same. Understand your audience, talk to them, learn what the situation is, and then segment, target, and position accordingly. The rise of technology means the freedom of the humans. Tech is not a threat here. Quiz. This is an organisation, to put this into reality and practice, whose purpose was that we want to create happy people, but we're going to the happiness of all our members through worthwhile, satisfying employment in a successful business measured by partners, customers, and profit. Creating a culture where we have partners, not employees. We share responsibilities for the company's growth. We contribute to the well-being of local communities. And we are no longer a parent organisation. We are giving our employees, or our partners, the right to knowledge. And we need to enable these employees to own the outcomes. Very famous retailer who does a cool Christmas advert. If you were to be one of these employees looking at this, you could suddenly panic. Do you panic? Do you read stats like this? In the UK, there's been a 50% increase in the number of employees struggling financially. Oh, shit. Are only 24% of us offering any sort of advice or education? Financial well-being, what's happening? What are we doing? 40% of my employees might feel let down. Do you really know if that's the case in your environment? Or is that just what the stats and the trends and the information is telling you? If you were to assess your audience and use technology and a solution such as we offer at Wealth Wizards to do that, you will be able to segment and target. And there are lots of solutions out there that will help you do that. But you can go to your board with what the accurate picture is in your organisation, tangible evidence of market need, internal market need. You'll be able to say what is needed in terms of priority, and then you will be able to say, and this is the action that we're going to take. And this is how John Lewis did it. They offered financial advice as part of that, but targeted to the right people. One size does not fit all. So the thought for the day that I'll leave you with as I draw breath on 10 minutes and about 30 seconds is that technology has enabled HR and marketing to use data to drive that conversation, but it's so much more than that. It's enabling the brand inside to impact the brand outside by segmenting, targeting, and positioning. So I believe that Fluffy just got serious, and that this is something that can have real impact in the board report when you go. Tangible evidence of market need, how you'll meet it, and how you'll measure success.